All right, welcome back, everybody. In this episode, we're going to be doing some seats for a friend of mine's airplane. It's a, I believe it's a Piper. I'm not sure what year. I'll post a couple pictures of the plane in the video there when I'm editing. I'll try to get a couple of videos after we put them in the plane. We're also going to redo the panels in them. So let me just kind of brief you a little bit on airplanes. So to do something like this, they have to be certified. You have to use flame retardant vinyls. It has to be done correctly. So we're going through all that stuff. Anyway, these are the seats right here. We're going to keep them. I'm going to do the old school piping on them. That's kind of how that era was back then, but we'll try to bring in a little bit of new school in the centers of it with some pleating and make them look pretty cool there for them. So I thought I had on the backs, not these, the other ones. Okay, on these, the plastic's bad on them, so I'm gonna try to make something. I'm gonna try to keep a pocket incorporated in the back of it, but I'm going to try to make some kind of a panel. This kind of steps in, but we probably won't do that. I'll probably just go to the outer border of it, and I got a button maker. We'll probably just screw the panel to the back of the seat with some buttons, make it look nice and neat. We may do the same thing on those, just cover those, screw them back on, and follow through with the buttons the same as this one to keep the theme the same. Like I said, we'll incorporate a pocket. He likes his pockets because that way when they fly into certain airports, you have to have your logbook and stuff ready, so he just kind of slips it behind the seat like that. So, but actually, so when these are done, he said he's going to take me to, I don't know, someplace, maybe an hour away or so. We're gonna just go to like an airport somewhere that has a good place to eat at. We're going to fly in and have some lunch. Maybe I'll try to record that little thing there of us doing that and try to put it in with this video. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see the timing of it. I'm trying to keep these videos going every week. The Planish Hammer 2 is just posted before this one. So, like I said, I'm trying to keep these things going, guys. It's tough with everything going on. So, hopefully it gets going soon enough. But without further ado, let's get cracking on these bad boys. Be right back. I'll see you guys at the sewing machine.
I'm a trendsetter. Okay. Let go. Okay, I know I'm here to stay. Counting on my wins, so I can't play it safe. Try to go against us, get you out the way.
All right, guys, let's start taking these apart. I took one apart, mainly. Got some screws in it. This thing is so brittle, you can barely touch it.
Touch it.
What? Touch it.
We'll definitely make something better. Of course, that's been in there for God knows how many years, you know? I mean, these are, I think it's like maybe a 70 or 80s model plane. It's nice, it's super clean. Okay, that, and they went gun-ho with the glue, let me tell you. Okay, so this has all these. And then the other one had a knob on the side for a seat back release, I guess, so you can recline it a little bit. I'd say that was probably this one has it on this side, but that one had it here. It was kind of like a, see, gives you a little bit. Okay, now, bunch of hog rings, my least favorite. I usually just cut them first. I'm gonna, let me cut these real quick, just so we're not, yeah, they're going. That Landau glue was just as good then, oh man, as it is now. Let me tell you. Okay. Ooh-wee.
Duck.
Man. Okay. Hopefully I can, I don't know if you guys have ever watched a channel called Jimmy's World. Hope I give him a little shout out on this. He'll give me some plane seats to do. Go watch that channel, Jimmy's World. He's something else. He finds planes and rebuilds them, and they did one, they bought Elvis's old plane. And obviously it was so old you can't get it to fly again, and that would take so much. So what they done was made it into like a camper. Pretty cool. Go check that out on this channel. It's pretty wild. I'm gonna add some more padding here on the sides. Yeah, real cool, man. And something crazy about that, my brother-in-law and his wife were on their way to Florida when this fall, early fall, and they was going through I think it was maybe the Carolinas or somewhere. I don't know, I can't remember what they said, but they was going down the road and they sent us a picture, and it was Jimmy's World in that Elvis plane. That would be tripped out. They didn't know who he was, but I would have tried to get him to pull over to meet him and stuff. I'm subscribed to his channel. Pretty cool stuff on there. You guys go check it out. Put it in the comments there that the Midwest Customs channel sent you over there to check them out. I'm gonna give him a big shout out. That way he can send me some seats to do. Send me some seats, Jimmy. All right, there's that one. Hang on, guys. All right, guys, it's the same here. I'm gonna get the rest of these apart so we're not wasting all that. I'll get these apart, and then we'll get us some kind of patterns apart off of the I'm going to use some of these, maybe the fronts, I don't know, we'll see. I need to cut them apart and steam them out a little bit and see what we're going to use, see what we're not going to use as a pattern. But yeah, let me get that far and I'll bring you guys back. All right, guys, I took apart one back and one front seat, just so if I'm going to be using some of the patterns or what I'm doing. I probably will, I don't know. We might use it and then turn it into our own. We're definitely going to use the sides, so these are going to be trash anyways, but I'm waiting for the steamer to get going. I cut it on about, they take forever. They take about, I don't know, especially, just depends, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes to get boiling good. So as soon as that gets going, I'll bring you back. We'll steam up a couple of these, and then we'll decide what we're doing, what we're going to make. Get these guys sewed up, get them back on the seats, get the seats back to them. There was a, hang on a second. Yeah, there was a whole ordeal with this. So we ordered material about over a week ago, and it made it to 20 minutes away from me, not even that, 15 minutes away from me, and somehow it got lost. I waited and waited. It got there on the 15th, I believe. We had a snowstorm before that, so it cleared up. Actually, I ordered other stuff for something else I'm getting ready to do. It came with UPS, but this stuff never showed up. It was clear on the 17th. It said still due to weather, whatever related deals, which was bull crap because none of that was going on. So finally I called the company, I get my stuff run. They called and they said, oh, we lost it, so someone stole it. That's what happens with that. Because they just come, that's how they come. The two rolls, you see what it is, and somebody probably looked at it and went, is that worth some money to sell it for whatever I got to go buy, whatever they do with the money? Anyhow, she started a claim and resent me the stuff, and I got the foam yesterday and the vinyl today. So and today's a whole week later, another Saturday. So yeah, it's been something else. But anyhow, still ain't steaming yet. But give me a few, I'll bring you back here and we'll get these steamed up. I had it on preheat. I didn't realize I didn't put my switch all the way on. I was like, man, this should have been going by now. And they're off. I already got the the front one done. First I do the back side and get it like opened up. Then I'll give it a real good steam. Get that crease out of it. I got to put some better glue on this table. I've said it in my other videos. All I had was that can stuff. The can stuff can't compete with the Landau. As soon as you give it a little heat, it's done. I mean, the Landau you can reactivate it with heat, but I've got it to where, I mean, I've had it before where I've steamed over it and haven't lifted it like this. This stuff the can stuff just ain't, I mean, it's good for in a pinch, but I was watching the Bad Chad channel the other day, and they were gluing a headliner on with that spray can stuff. I mean, sometimes I like to comment and say something about that, but other times people will think you're hating on them. I don't know. You know, sometimes, because I hear like what they say the next day, like about people giving comments, I don't know. So I just don't say anything. Sometimes you're better off just don't say anything, no matter how nice you put it. And I hate that, because I know as soon as that stuff goes out in a hot day or in one of them buildings for a long time, that stuff's going to fall down. And like I said, I know that's all he had in a pinch. Or they don't own guns and a big 5-gallon bucket of the Landau glue, so sometimes you just gotta ask, you know, somebody that's done it before a bunch of times. Maybe they'll let you use a gun and some glue, or I don't know. I would, if somebody was around here and they asked me, I'd let them borrow my gun with a little glue in it, just so they wouldn't have to go through that. But he's in Canada and I'm in Ohio, so that ain't gonna work. But like I said, sometimes you want to comment on that stuff, but texting and typing is not like talking. No matter how you put it, with how many LOLs you put it and smiley faces you put on it, sometimes the way it's worded, people get offended by that stuff. You can't express yourself the way you can when you're talking.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
It's just is what it is. All right, so I've already got the other one done. This is part 2 of that one. Or I'm sorry, of that one. There's a top and a bottom. That should be good enough. And I gotta do the back one real quick. Not real quick. What sucks is one of these don't have it and the other one, yeah, I gotta cut thread out of it where they sewed around, you know, to make it a hemmed edge, so it's not just a loose, you know, cut. I'll do a little bit of this real quick and then we'll stop it so I don't waste a bunch of, I'm sure you guys are tickled to watch me steam stuff. But like I said, this is just so we got some patterns of the sides. We'll probably, yeah, there's some right there we got to cut. Sometimes they just glue, yeah, it's just glue. The faces, we'll probably use them too, but we'll cut them up and make a different deal with them. That's just a one piece now. We're going to make ours into a couple. It'll end up being a one piece when we're done with it, but we're going to do some pleats, we're going to do some piping, we're going to make these things look cool for the airplane. That way Jimmy's World can send me some seats. I'm going to keep saying that, Jimmy, until you come across this video and watch it, and then you send me a message. Until you do that, I'm going to bother you. I'm going to keep bothering you, Jimmy. I'm always trying to offer my hand out to people. I don't know if they think that's weird or what.
You are so weird.
Maybe they're not used to having somebody do that for them, but I offer my hand out to certain people on YouTube, like saying like, hey, I'll do that for you, like some upholstery work or something. I don't know, they might think it's weird or something, but sorry guys, the phone rang. But like I was saying, I offer my hand out to people, just trying to be cool and nice, you know, to do something for them. And of course, it's for me to get some recognition on my channel. You know, why else would I be doing something for free? You know what I mean? So if the people are thinking, well, he's just wanting that so he can get his YouTube channel going. Of course, anybody would. But I figured it's a cool thing to do too. Anyhow, I'm not mad about it.
What? No! I'm not mad!
I just find it strange that people respond oddly to that, like they've never been treated like that. You know, like decent, like somebody's doing something for them.
Aww.
I'm all for that. I got no problems with it. But it's all good. This channel is going to go no matter what, is what people should probably realize. So if I was on the other side of the shoes or boat or whatever you want to say, and I was me and they was them, I mean the other way around, I'd probably realize that and say, hey, this might be something good down the road. I'll tell you, there's one real smart guy on YouTube. I don't know who watches this guy, but his name is Eli. People have different opinions about him, but I see it in a different way. He's a very smart guy, very smart. Shout out to you, Eli, in New York. But he does those, he walks around and teaches people and educates people about our First, Second, Third, Fourth Amendment, however you want to look at that. I'm just telling you what he does. But anyways, what I'm talking about is the guy's got like several channels. And if you guys go back at one of my I can't remember what video it was, but I was talking about that. Like if a bunch of us YouTubers got together and kept talking about each other on our channels, what do you think that would do for everybody's channel? Seriously, think about that. And I even said that back then. Think about that. It just brings more traffic, it brings more subscribers, it brings the channel grows bigger, and that's exactly what Eli's doing. But he's doing it with his own self. He made his first channel, he let it grow, and he started a bunch more. And guess what that's doing? Every channel is doing well for him. But it's the same thing if a bunch of people got together and did it, and only did it for one of their channels. It's the same thing, but it will help you so much. But that's the difference between me seeing things my way and people seeing their things their way. But for instance, I was telling you guys about a couple of people being on somebody's channel. That's the channel's big. Let's just say, I'm gonna say no names or anything, but the channel's big. They have a worker there, and he's been there 6 months, whatever. He decides he's gonna get a YouTube channel and go work out of his house garage. Basically I don't know what he's doing, but what do you think is going to happen for that guy when that big channel gives, hey, go over and check him out. He's got his own little channel now. And overnight success, you guys. I've said it before. And like I said, I hope that goes somewhere well for him one day. But for somebody to get that basically for free overnight is just not fair to a lot of us that have been working on this for years. Hard work, hard this, hard that. I get it. You did some work at that person's place for his channel within that hour of videos or whatever, but that was your job. You got paid for that. It wasn't like you worked very hard at your job and then you came home to work very hard to get your YouTube channel going. Two very different things. So you can look at that however you want. But anyways, I'm not being a whatever you want to call it, but anyways, these got thread all around them. I'm not going to waste the time on them. I'm going to get this one done. They're all finished. They'll be all finished. And then we'll come back and figure out what we're going to create today. All right, be back a little bit. All right, so I got one of these backs finished up here. We're getting ready to do one on camera. But what I done was I got 5 yards of material of this burgundy. Well, I laid it all out. I got all the sides cut out, as you guys seen. But as I got down to the end of doing them things, I had all these, and I was just gonna, the way I was originally wanting to do it was gonna be just lay these out on the burgundy, trace them, put my foam on them, and sew in a pleat, just kind of like these are. Well, 2 things on that. I didn't want my 1/2 inch sew foam at the bottoms where they come around, because I went with the 1/4 inch there, and I would have been short like 1 1/2 of these. So plan number 2, and I took a big gamble on this because he didn't know how I was doing these, and I didn't know how he would respond to how I just done this. So, but check it out. That's sweet. I mean, he loves it. It's going to look so cool. I did the burgundy stitching in there, so I got the old school look with the modern look, and it just looks so much nicer. So being that we did it this way, I'm going to save a little, where I'm putting the black in, and you'll see when we do this here in a few. Now I can lay out strips. these are all strips. These are all, you know, these plates are strips, and maybe we can squeeze and get the most, you know, more out of it that way. I'm hoping, because if not, I'm gonna have to order another couple yards, and we're gonna be a little short. So yeah, like I said, by the time I done the piping and all the sides, which, man, I couldn't believe how much those took up. That was just a lot of material. I think almost two yards, the way I measured it. And I try to, trust me, I try to squeeze those things in without losing very much at all. And still, that's, you know, there's a lot. You would think these seats ain't that big until you do them, and then you're like, man, they take up a lot of material. You know, the stuff that goes on the sides, that flips around the back, blah, blah, blah. And so anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and get this all set up here, and we'll get what I want to do is lay that out and try to get in my mind that I'm going to have enough. So we'll move this stuff around, roll that out as much as we can, and I'm going to try to get this figured out so I know if I got to order some more or not. So let's go ahead and get on this. I'll bring you guys back here in a second. All right, guys, this is why I always say lay things out, double check, use your material to the best you can, because when I first checked all this yesterday, I was short 1.5 pieces, you know, 1.5, the full sections that I showed you earlier. Here's the scrap right here. This is the scrap, and trust me, and one little piece left right here. Let me take you around real quick and show you what we got going on. Okay, so hang on. So everything's got 2 pieces because there's 2 of each. 2 backs for the back seat. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 backs for the back seat, 2 bottoms for the back seat. We've already got that one done, so that's why we only need one piece on this one. And then there's the other ones, 2 and 2. That's going to be our front seat. The 2 of the tops, 2 of the bottoms. And we've already got the black all cut out. So we're doing good. I mean, I was worried about, you know, I'm going to have to order more. This is you know, going to take more days. I stressed all day yesterday, worried about, am I going to have enough? You know what I mean? All night, last night, thinking about it. How am I going to do it? How am I going to try to lay it out?
Don't worry, be happy.
It worked out, thank God, because I didn't want to go through that. For some reason, the shipping stuff right now is not working out good because they're losing stuff. They're still saying there's storms everywhere. The places that I order from, I checked. One of them's Michigan, one of them's Atlanta. They're all settled down. So I get it. They're probably behind. You know, maybe they had, like the Chillicothe store was telling me, as the trailers come in, they have to go in order. Just like when I do my work, I do it in order how it came in. You know, I don't want to put anybody in front of nobody else, you know what I mean? I'm going to treat everybody fair, the little work that I do get. So anyhow, this is what we got. I'm going to lay out the foam, and we're going to start gluing this stuff to the foam and start sewing. So give me a few. I'm going to get that laid out, and we're going to get going on that.
Okay. I'm a trendsetter. I'm a trendsetter.
I'm a trendsetter. Okay. Let go. Hey, okay, I know I'm here to stay. Counting on my wins, so I can't play it safe. Trying to go against us, get you out the way. Go hard, it's the only way to play. Let me say, I'm a trendsetter. I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. Who can do it better? I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. Hey, look, they keep calling me, could you ride this beat? Look probably. Okay, it ain't no.
All right, guys, real quick, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I wanted to show you real quick. So when you're cutting this out, you want to cut it at an angle. That way, when you sew it, there's a less of an edge there. You know what I mean? It's not as thick. So, and it helps you when you're sewing it. Just go around and do it all like that. But I think my camera ran out as I was gluing or cutting. I forget what it was doing, but apologize for that, like they always do. Again. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and finish. I wanted to tell you guys that real quick in case you haven't watched the other videos, which I encourage you to do. They're great videos. There's a bunch of other stuff on there that we do. Check it out. Some of the stuff is the same, but still, they're cool videos to watch. Go check them out if you have time. I'm gonna finish gluing all this stuff to the foam and get it all cut out, and then I'll bring you guys back when we're ready to start sewing. This is all going to take for a little while, so give me a little while and I'll get back to you shortly.
Hey, look, they keep calling me, could you ride this beat? Look probably. Okay, it ain't no problem, see, I can mold this thing like pottery. Better I'ma bet on myself. And before the top and I don't need your help. We set the tempo, we run this thing as simple. Let's go. Boy, I'm locked in, know your place, I'm top 10. And all my haters watching, so you know I keep on climbing.
Alright guys, got all of our foam cut out. As you can see, it's stacked over there. I don't know if you guys seen, if you haven't watched any other videos, but I got this little notcher, and when I find my centers, I just pick it out. I just wanted to show you guys that. I already did the other ones, in case you haven't seen it before. And then we got our centers. Okay, now I want to show you something here. So you can, when you're making diamonds, I just had this discussion with one of our channel followers, and so if I was to go, see how this is rectangle, not square? Okay, this is a good example here. So if I was to go, I just want to show you guys this because you can change the way your diamonds look just because of this reason right here, and have two different looking diamonds. Okay, so here's one style. Now this is exactly 10 by 10. This is a square, and I usually go bring it down from the corner a little, so when I do my mark, it's on the corner. Okay, why did I do that? Same thing, down from the corner a little bit. Okay, now look at the difference in the diamonds. You got one that looks like a square, one that looks like an actual diamond. But this right here can be where it's needed in an application where it's needed. You know what I mean? Where sometimes this is the only choice, because you can go, I shouldn't say that, because you can go, I could go, like say, here's the square, right? Alright, now I want to just go, we'll go past it on this side and below it on this side, like that, maybe by 1/4 of an inch. That's going to change it dramatically, but there's an easier way to do it. So, and you want them to match when you got a bottom piece and a top piece on your chair, or it's going to look funny. So this is why I make my notches. You just line that up, take your ruler, put it on the top one, start your bottom one. That's it. Now it's going to match. It's going to continue. You can take it away and do them all like that now. You don't need it there anymore. But I wanted to show you guys that because just like me and him was talking, there is a difference. And some people see it, some people don't. You know, some people notice it. I mean, some people don't. And I'll explain why he brought it to my attention in another video. Not today. So you guys gotta wait. He knows why.
Yes, he does.
Okay, just like that, our diamonds match. And it doesn't matter, I do all these the same, so. All right, I'm gonna finish these up, just like you just seen me do here. and then we're going to go over to the faff and sew them all out. So we got all of our diamonds in, and then we'll proceed sewing all them bad boys together. Look at that pile. Yeah, I like to get all them sewed and put all of our piping on it, and all we got to do is just add the sides to it and put them on. So we'll see how far we get. It's probably closer to 1 right now, but I don't like rushing when it comes to stuff like this, because I want all this to look right when it's on the seat. You know what I mean? I want it to match good when you're looking at it. I don't want one going like that. And I'll show you when we're making these. These actually in the back of the seat, the top part of the seat, are they go from this corner and they come in about a 1/2 inch. So it's actually at a grade, and that one's like that. If you guys can see it, hang on a second. I don't know if you can tell. This lighting is crappy over here. Let's see what we can do here. There's a way. I don't know how to cut this top light on. I think there's a... No, that ain't it. Hang on, guys. Let me figure this out. Got it. Whether that makes a ton of difference or not. I got it on the... Let's see here. Well, that's as good as we get, I think. Anyhow, how do I change that? Yeah, it's on. All right. If you guys look, these are in more than the bottoms. Like I said, it's only a 1/2 inch, but it is. So when you do that, you have to make this plate wider and this one skinnier, and then cut that out. We'll do it all. I'll show you. It's weird. It's like the opposite. So when you sew them together, it looks like that. But what I'm talking about is, when I want all this to look good, if you look at all these sides, I want them to look good and not have more thread showing or less on this corner or that or this more. You know what I mean? I want it all to be uniform and even in there. So that all takes a little time when you're setting it up and sewing it. You don't want to, you want to keep an eye on that, because you can sew it to where now you're going to have a skinnier diamond here, a fatter one over here. You know what I mean? So I don't want none of that crap. So that's why I do pump your brakes, take your time a little bit on this stuff.
All right, pump the brakes, Jorts.
Look at it, draw it with some chalk, wipe it off, keep doing it until it looks right for you. Don't just do it because you got to get them done. Because Lord knows I got to get these done, but I ain't trying to rush this. So anyhow, enough blabbing. Let me get these drawn out. We'll get them sewed here in a second. All right, guys, that's all the diamonds. Something I want to say about when you're doing diamonds, make sure you give yourself plenty of time, because it takes forever. Hang on a second. All right, yeah, make sure you give yourself plenty of time, because like I said, I mean, think about that. You got a lot of sewing here, so if you're doing this for a job, make sure you price it right too, because I wasn't really counting on doing this for this job, but this is a friend of mine and I kind of just did it, and I'm really wanting somehow for that channel Jimmy's World to see this, where maybe I can get do some seats for him. I'd love to collaborate with that guy. He's a pretty cool guy, and he's always messing with these planes, and I love doing stuff like this, so maybe we could benefit both of, off of it. Okay, like I said, they're done. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the other one of the backs like we just did, and it's on top, and I'm just gonna keep going down. So what I got going on is 2 per thing. That's gonna be our other back for the back seat, and then the rest will go. So, and we'll just follow order. Let me get this back set up over there, and we'll sew that stuff up. Oh, I gotta make my hang on one second. All right, guys, I forgot to put my notches in these, so let me go through. I already marked them. Let me go through and do this real quick, and then I'll bring you back over at the machine real quick. All right, guys, I almost forgot. This is what I told you I was going to show you later on. All right, so here's what I was saying about that slight angle. Now this is on the back part where your back rests against it. So here's the top, that's the bottom. As you can see up at the top, we have more and then less here. What it is, it's 1.5 inches. Now you got to do the same, but on the opposite sides of your side plates. I'm gonna cut this off over here. So you're gonna have inch. So it's a 1/2 inch difference. So when we flip that around and sew it, flip it back over, all this is a straight square, but we have a angle to it. See what I'm saying? Hopefully. And then here's another thing I was talking about. When I measured and drew my lines, I wanted to make sure, see, I got a little corner here, little corner there, little, about the same here, same there. I wanted to get my distance the same on both sides, what it's going to look like when I sew it. I don't want this over this way too much and that one out further, you know what I mean, and have different looking patterns. So that was the other thing I was talking about. All right, I'm going to go over there at the machine and sew around this line, because that's the furthest part of our template, and then I'm going to cut the rest of that off because that'll lock our stitches in when I sew that. And then I'm going to cut these off, and then we'll be ready to go over and sew all this together. So I'll meet you back over there. All right, I sewed that and I cut the stuff off the edges. Now let's sew these two together, and I want to go in the same amount when I do both sides, so our pattern is like I was saying before, the same on both sides. So we need to pay attention here what we're doing. I'm trying to look at the distance. I'm trying to keep it at a 1/2 inch all the way down. At probably about a 1/2 inch. Okay. I see that's straight. That's all straight. But we have an angle to it. Now the trick is we got to get the other side with the same stuff showing. So let's see if we can do that. Here's the tricky part.
Time is tricky. Tricky. Time is tricky. It's tricky.
We already know where we cut it and drew it was the same. Now we just have to sew it the same as we did on the other side. And if you're like right there, but it's a hair off, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a tremendous, something that looks unacceptable. You know what I mean? Same thing, I'm gonna try to be a 1/2 inch all the way down. Keep my edges, lined up on the outside good. So I know that I'm sewing a 1/2 inch on the back side here. It's gonna fall in the right place when we open it up. If that makes sense. All right, fingers crossed. Let's see what we got. I think we're looking pretty even, guys. Every one of them. And I'll show it to you up close. I'm talking about all the corners, how much is on each diamond on each side. I think it's looking pretty good. We gotta clean our chalk up, but all right, let me go get the rest of these. Hang on a second. Let's sew our top one on real quick. Put that in the middle. Now, what I do is on these back sides, as it's coming across, I open those up like that, so they're flat on the table. So it'll be open. So when I sew it, I don't want to sew it, with it flipped around. Let me put it in the center and get it started over here. Same thing. I want to keep everywhere I sew is about a 1/2 inch in, because that's what my measurements are. I gave myself, like if I measured it and it was an 8 by 9, I went 9 by 10, because I want both sides to have a 1/2 inch, up and down, left to right. That's why I go 1 inch, 1/2 inch for each side. Okay, I'm gonna open these up, and I'll show you here when I'm done. Lay it flat. Make sure it stays open. Make sure our middle's still there. Make sure we're still at a 1/2 inch where we're sewing at. Our other things coming up, we gotta open it up. Keep it flat. Okay, there's our top panel. Now we're gonna do the very one that flips over the back, center notches. I'll show you what we do after we sew all this together. We're gonna put that template on top of this. That's why I got these centers notched out. Okay, center. As I was saying, I'll show you what we're gonna do after this is all sewed together. This is getting real curly. That means it's probably down to the end of the spool. But we're not on no more diamonds, so I'm not too concerned about where it runs out. Okay, there's that one. Let's put our bottom on. Center notch, center notch, 1/2 inch in, open our thing up. I need to keep an eye on it because I went over a bump. Yep, we're still good. Open the other one, keep it pushed down. Okay, our last one on. 1/2 inch in, make sure it's all lined up. All right, let me take you back over there so I can show you how we're going to do the next part. Okay, I found my centers on both of these. I lined them up to the notches. Here's our sew marks, and you can see where the sew line is here. I want to keep it all about the same in there. Make sure it stays centered on both sides. This is about the same place this is. We're just a hair over our sew, a hair over our sew. Okay, keep checking it. Okay, then what I do is I'll place my, just so nothing moves on me, then draw it. Keep it pushed down because we have some areas that are still, see that, where I just unfolded that?
I see a little stuff on top.
And this is okay here. See what we got? Right there, there's our seat. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, sew right on that chalk line, all the way around it. Cut up, actually, not, I'm sorry, take that back. We're going to sew our, we're going to take our piping, and right where the thread is, we're going to sew on that chalk line, all the way around that. This one will go in just a hair, but we're going to take it just to the edge. We'll trim these up so it curves straight down on both sides. Then we'll trim off the excess bottom, top, sides. Let me get over to the other machine. That's where our foot is for the piping. All right, guys. So normally I usually pre-cut these with a little extra, so I just kind of see where I'm at, how much I'm going to have on both sides. Yeah, it's about right. So I'll start with, I don't know, a couple inches there, and then I'll end up with about an inch or two off the back too. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing this about where it was. Then I'll back sew right there, right where it comes onto our panel. I'm trying to sew right on that chalk line. Hold on, I forgot my scissors down there. All right, so now I'm going to cut little slots, about a 1/16 of an inch apart, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, whatever. It doesn't matter, and just go in halfway. Don't go all the way into your thread. Just about halfway or less. I usually go a little more than I need, so I'm not stopping again. These scissors used to be the sharpest until I dropped them once. That's all it takes is once. All right, same thing. Open your fold, open your thing. So when we sew over it, it's nice and flat. Drop my needle, lift my leg, put that where I want it. Same thing, drop it, bring it in where I want it. Open it up, the next one. Open our next one. Open our next one. Okay, now you can go around and trim your panel. Everything's locked in, so nothing's going to come apart on you. There's what it's going to look like. I don't know how zoomed I am on this, guys, but I'll re-show it to you when I'm done. I don't want to get my chalk line all off on that side. I'm going to sew that one on. I'll bring you guys back over at the table over there. Okay, here's what we got. One nice panel ready to go. Okay, so guess what? I got all those to do. All right, so here's how we do it, guys. I'm gonna go through those There's no sense in going through the same thing 100 times. When we do this outer stuff, I'll bring you back and we'll sew those on together. And then we'll obviously put them together on the seats. So however long that takes, I'm not even sure what time it is right now. Probably 3 or so. So I got another couple hours to work. I'm going to try to get those done, hopefully, the majority, whatever. I'll let you know where I get with it. But yeah, let me do that, guys. When I'm done, I'll bring you back and we'll put the sides on it and get these things put together. Pretty sweet though. Hope you guys can see all that. Looks good. I wanted you guys to see a top view of the, you know, how I got all the stuff pretty even there. Yeah, as long as you get it close like this, you're nothing where you can't really, nobody's gonna take a tape measure out and go, hey, that's off of a thread, you know, the thickness of a thread. Just so your eye can't see it. Just so this panel is not clear over into this and that one's where it's at. You know what I mean? That's why I showed you what I showed you. So, but it looks good. All right, be back soon.
1 day later.
All right, guys, before I show you these, it's been a long couple days. So these are super sweet. These look like something that belonged probably in like a custom Learjet or something. But anyhow, I changed a couple things on them. He's seen the one part, he hasn't seen the second part, but I think he's gonna like them. Let's go over here real quick. These things are super sweet, guys. I'm gonna take you around and show you. Check those out, man. So these are our backs. That's the back bottom. That's the backrest, the top part. But I added the black piping to match the black insets. And I just think that just makes them pop. And these are your front back rest, your bottom seat. I mean your front bottom, your front backrest. But those are sweet, guys. Look at them things. I mean, they turned out super nice. What happened was, this was a blessing in disguise, actually. So when I did these, when I made these, the piping in the burgundy, I only made enough for 2, 4, 6, 8. So basically 2 seats. And when I got and I already had the one done, remember it was on the seat when we looked at it. So anyhow, when I got everything was sewed together and I was getting ready to put the rest of my piping on, I realized that my pile was not that big. And I was like, where's the rest of these things at? Well, there was no rest of them. Then I figured it out. Oh man, I only did, you know, enough for the 2 front seats, nothing for the backs. So anyways, I got to thinking about that and I was like, you know what? I bet you these things would look way better if I did it with the black. I mean, I know it will. It's going to make that, it's going to make this pop, it's going to make the, you know, the centers pop more. And if you guys can see in there with the burgundy stitching, I mean, those look just sick, man. I mean,
Very nice.
this is something you don't see in a 70s or 80s model Piper airplane. You know what I mean? And look how nice those diamonds pop. Something I was going to tell you about that. So when you're doing your diamonds, let me take you over here real quick. Every sewing machine has this one you got to do with the screwdriver, but this is going to set the pressure of the foot. So I make it not all the way cranked down, and this one's a little different over here. You can do it by hand. Hang on. Yeah, right here. You just turn that down. So anyways, you want to set that to where, so you want to do a test pattern. You know, get your foam, start sewing, start adjusting down until it looks like, you know, you're actually smashing that down good and this is popping out nice. You'll probably have to do a couple lines just so you can see the angle of your pattern, whether it be this or a pleat or whatever. You know what I mean? You want to make those pop out like that. You want to definitely make sure when you're doing your sew that the pressure is squeezing that material as tight as it can to make this stuff really stand out. And I meant to say that when I was doing them on that faff there. But anyways, man, there they are, guys. That's a lot of work. It really is. I mean, this is 2 days of work that you guys didn't see. I mean, since the last thing I showed you guys. So it's nothing small of being a little job, even though the seats are small. There's a lot involved in when you want to make something nice. You know what I mean? It's not just make one big cover like I was going to do in the beginning. I was going to trace that out, mark out some pleats somehow in it, kind of like they had it, sew them in there, put the sides on it with the piping on the side and put them together. Luckily, you know, I realized I wasn't going to have enough material, and we went this route because he's getting much better job here. You know what I mean? This is like, I mean, this is just sick, man. I can't wait till he sees them put together. And he keeps calling. He wants to. Today is Tuesday. He wants to fly out Friday and go get some lunch somewhere. He's like, man, I got to go out of town Friday late, but let's hopefully get the front two at least done so we can put him in the plane and go take a cruise in it. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna start on the front ones and get the front ones done. I'm getting ready to put the seat up here. We're gonna lay our cover out so we can put our sides on it, which are right over there on top of the box. We're gonna put our sides on it so I can put some little marks where I believe I need to start sewing and stop sewing to make it look, you know, nice. And I'll show you that here in a few when I get set up, what I'm talking about. Give me a few, I'm gonna get it all set up. All right, real quick, you guys. So these are gonna be edges that you don't want to look, you know, just cut. So first I glue them on the back side so they stay together, and then I sew around them. And that's anywhere there's going to be a live edge around something, you know, around where the seat goes together. This wraps around it, so on. But anyways, when I get to these corners, I'll drop the needle, spin it. That way you can stay, and I try to stay close, not right on the edge, but close to it. I don't know why I spin that wheel since I put that needle positioner on there. You ain't got to do that no more. That thing is just, even like doing stuff like this. This is the good thing about the servo motors, the needle positioner. You can look how slow I'm going with it. I mean, and then if I want to go quicker, and I got that set to max speed is only, well, hang on, it's only I don't even think it's at 900. So I don't like going super fast when I sew. There's a lot of people that'll zip through this so quick. Yeah, so 800. See how that lifts it perfect for me, and then my string pulls out easy. And we just did a video on setting the other one up. If you ain't watched it, go check it out. It's pretty cool. If you're into maybe wanting to do this kind of thing one day, or, you know, want to mess around and do your upholstery in your boat or car or whatever, you know, you can find these, that company, Vever, they have an industrial machine that you could probably get by. That one and the Vever one comes with a table and all. It's only like 300 something bucks, the whole machine, and it's got a built-in needle positioner, your speed control, all that stuff is built into it right here in the face of it. It's pretty cool. You just can't do real, like, a bunch of thick leather, but stuff like this, no problem. But anyways, there we go. It's all done. I got all these done. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go back to the hang on, I'll show you. We got the other. All right, so these are our front seats I'm doing first. I already got both of the back side panels put on. I just got, and then the other one's just slipped over that one. I'm getting ready to figure out where to put these at. I already sewed these edges, the front and back. And then, now the old ones had some cuts in them down through here. I'll wait until I fold it and see where I got to trim it and do it, but you're not going to see that stuff. We can go back and sew an edge like this if you want, but usually if you're not going to see it, glue it over, hog ring it, whatever you're going to do, you're never going to see it anyways. But the stuff around that's close around areas you're going to see that wraps around that, like back here, stuff, you're going to see all that. So that's where this one goes. Like once we sew that, that'll go around there, you know, and that'll be all nice and sewed without a hard edge. So I'm going to figure out, mark these like I said, where they go, and I'll bring you back when we're starting to sew some of these on, and then the rest is the same. We'll get them buzzed up and then start putting them on our things, and we got to make the backs yet, and two elastic pockets, and these will be done. So give me a few, I'll get this marked up and be right back. All right guys, so I got all my my marks made on how this goes. I'm going to just start one here for you. Do one side real quick with you. I'm trying not to hit my microphone, but it makes little weird noises I noticed when I edit.
It's not gonna happen, pal.
I need to put it somewhere else. I usually just go real slow, try to keep it churning, you know what I mean, with the curves. And then I'm gonna put that on so my needle stays down. Okay, so now the needle's dropped. If I wanted to lift my leg up and turn this or adjust this, I can. But for right now, I want to get around this curve real quick, about right here, and then lift my leg a little. Push this front down a little, and you can churn and tuck a little as you need. Keep it churning as I'm going. I want to try to line this next one up with that notch. Let the whole thing kind of, see it lined up there? Let the whole thing kind of just work, you know what I mean? Your foot usually stays on the piping. That's why I like doing piping. It's an easy guide, per se. If you find yourself just a little behind on your marks, just give it a little tug. It'll make up on the back end here, like we've always said. If you keep your material folder, you can kind of see where you're, see, and there's our last mark. I usually go a couple times when I lock it on these because you don't want it to come apart when you're pulling on it and hog ringing, gluing, whatever you're doing. Let me show you on the other one so I ain't got to unfold that because I want to sew my other side real quick. Let me get it ready here. I just got that one tucked around. Yeah, once we get that all pulled around and glued. I see here, that's going to go around that. Once we pull this and tuck it, you'll have a sewed mark and it ain't going to look dumb. You know what I mean? Once we pull that, glue it, whatever we got to do. Now what I'm going to do is, before we wrap and tuck the sides, I'm going to spray a little glue around where this is so that actually stays down in the seat. It makes it look nicer too. So we'll glue a little both sides and then we'll see where our line's at when we're putting it together, and that'll just stay right down in there. So when you pull it and tuck it, that's going to give us nice stretching around the whole thing. And when we steam it, that thing will look super nice. Same with all of them, the backs, all of them. So, all right, I got that one to finish, and then these two for the backs. That's going to be, I'm working on the back seats now. These are the fronts. They're done. And that's the bottom of the back. This is the bottom of the back, and that's our backrest of the back seat. So I'll get them sewed up real quick, and we'll get these things started to put on because we still have to make the panels. Those are made. I'm just going to recover them. But we have to make two more to fit the front seats where those old crusty things was on there. So we'll get on that here in a little bit. Before I put this cover on, you guys, I wanted to show you, I had to put foam around the sides. These seats are just, there's not much to them. So I wanted to make it, you know, fit out a little better. Here's the one I just covered. It's looking pretty good. I got to steam it and stuff, but that's glued in and sitting nice. So once that's steamed and tightened up on there, that's going to look really good. But yeah, so I'm trying to think. The front one's probably going to need them too. I'll see when I'm doing them. I just don't want to use up all my sew foam on these seats. I mean, if I have to, I have to. I got to get them done. But I'm going to get this one on, and basically all I'm doing is the compressor keeps cutting on. I don't want you guys to listen to that, but I'm just putting some glue in this square and that square, finding my line, my center, or slipping the top on first, then finding my center, pushing that in, flipping it around, gluing it, and then just folding it over. That's it. We still got to make backs for these, so I think I have some board over there, some door panel board. I think I do. I hope I do. If not, I got to run down and find something, or maybe make them out of, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let me get this on here. I wanted to show you guys that before they're covered. Yeah, but I tried to put the cover on beforehand, or when I was pre-fitting them, when we were sewing them, it was just too, not enough sides to it. So that helped it a bunch. Okay. All right, guys, I wanted to show you. So I already glued where the black squares underneath and stuck it. And then I do this. I went ahead and glued all these. I didn't do the back yet. I pre-trimmed everything to fit. So I went around and just kind of folded things over to see where it was going to, you know, look and fit the best. So now we'll just take it and tuck it. We did the one already. And I also put hog rings in some areas. Some of this is still not ready. We'll have to wait a minute. Hang on, guys. I wanted to go around. I got a little mineral spirits on this one. I just go around and wipe as I'm, just to kind of get what I see off that I can, you know, right away. But as it dry your hands, something crazy. All right, let's get the front one tucked. Oh, I forgot to cut this. Dang on it. Well, we can cut it now, can't we? Let's see. Cut that one there. Cut this one a little bit off. There is no rule to this. You just wherever it looks the best. I still got to glue this side here, and that'll get tucked like that on both sides. But I got to put some glue down on that. So I guess I'll do that and the back at the same time. Let me make sure it don't need cut. I think it just lays down. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to spray that. It's going to take a minute, guys. Give me a second. All right. Take 2. Keep it pulled a little bit. That's still a little damp. Man, sprayed that. We'll put some hog rings on our piping, just like we did on the other one. I already did the one. I already said that probably. Sometimes I talk too much. Sometimes I don't talk enough, right?
You think?
Looking good, right, guys? Man, that's looking good. These I just sprayed, so we'll give them a minute. Let's go ahead and put our hog rings back here so I can show you how I'm doing those. Like I said, I take a little bit of this mineral spirits. Not that you're going to see any of this stuff, but I don't know. It just looks better when you clean it up for the person as much as you can, just towards the outside. I don't want nothing. You're looking into the plane when you're getting in it, or in a car, or whatever it is, and you're at that level, and you're like, what is that? Oh man, it's like, you know what I mean? It catches your eye. I don't want it to catch your eye. So just clean it. Man, like I said, my skin is so dry from this stuff. It's cracking, and it doesn't feel good, let me tell you. We'll clean that front up when we glue them down. These are tough to put hog rings in because you got to press into it like and try to catch an area. So I know I can definitely probably catch one back here. You want to catch it in that whatever that's like a real strong burlap. What it reminds me of. That's probably good there. Let's put one right here in the vinyl. Well, if I can hold it. There's no getting to it. I should have. That would have kind of still been in the way. I was going to pull it off, but I don't know. I just figured. Okay, we got that. Let's try to sneak one over here. Oh yeah, got a nice one there. I don't know if I can catch this one. The angle I gotta go at. Let me try it. Yeah, I think I got it. Yep. Okay. Now is this stuff set up yet? Guess it don't matter because we're gonna put some what do you call it in it? Hog rings. And just stick it down best we can there. Yeah, as I said before, this foam is just so, you know, wore out on these seats. I tried to get it as tight as I could around these corners, but I mean, some things you just have to tuck like that. There's no getting around it. But all right, let's clean some of this real quick before it sets up too good. You can still clean it even if it sets up, you know, for a year. You just got to soak it longer. Even this is not easy coming off. It takes a little bit. Like I said, just so it's not nothing on the sides here catching someone's eyeball, and like it just looks dirty, like somebody did a rush job, sloppy job. We're trying to do it the best we can. All right, let's try to drop a few more here. I'll probably catch one here maybe. Let's see. Oh yeah, that one was nice. Try to get one here like that. Yes. All right, let's do this side. This side's gonna be a pain because there's things in the way. Let me see what I can do here. Oh man, easy buddy, get it in there first. Gee, oh, it's no good, that's why. Yep, we got it. Okay, good. Try to soak one right here, right next to it. There we go, move that wire out of the way. Guys, I think we're good on this side. All right, now, man, look at that. Looks good, it really does. When we steam these are gonna look so nice. All right, real quick, let's put our, try and do this as fast as I can. Let's put our top on it. Yeah, those are the backs. All right, I gotta tuck it. There we go. This one's got a little release thing on it. It's like right in the way. Let's get this one started. And this one's got this handle in the way. And that went in better, didn't it? There we go. All right, I'm gonna put those bolts in. It takes a second, but check that out, guys. Let me see if I can get you a good shot. Look at those bad boys. Whew. We'll go back around them. I'm gonna cut the steamer on real quick, and then we'll steam them up. We gotta trace some back panels and figure out what we're doing with them. Give me a few. All right, guys, the steamer's going. Let's get a little steam on this. I did the other one. We'll set it on the ground here in a minute, and with the other one, and we'll take a look at them. Like I said, we still got to make the backs, but I don't want to say it because I'll jinx myself, but I think the hard part's done. Oh man, this might be boring to some of you, but it's pretty satisfying. Look at that. The steam just does its magic. I know it makes your nose run. My nose is already running from this stupid cold I had or whatever I had. And this stuff here, guys, when it sits out in the heat in that plane on a hot day, it'll just bake this stuff, and then when it cools off at night, it'll shrink like a shrink wrap. So it'll continue to fit better. Obviously the parts where we had to tuck some up in the front, that ain't gonna get too much better, but it doesn't look bad. I mean, people do that regardless on a lot of furniture pieces. They tuck them like that. And there's nothing wrong with it. Do it how you have to do it. I mean, we're working with something that needed more work. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can make it worse. Let's get that heated up some. That's all right. Yeah, like I said, you got to remember, it's gonna contract. You know, it's gonna shrink back down from the heat's making it, you know, soft and letting it kind of stretch around. Then as it cools, it just tightens up. Like you could sit here and do this so much and keep doing it and keep doing it until you've worked out every single thing in it, just about most of the time. But usually, if they look good, I stop. I don't, because like I said, you can create another problem. I'll work that over there in a minute. I mean, imagine what those would look like if I didn't put any foam in the sides. I mean, it was rough. When I started to put it on there and pre-test it, pre-fit it, I was like, oh man, this foam is just so old and wore out. Some of it came off with the other covers, just you name it. So I had to do the best that I could do with what we have. You gotta make it work. Yeah, on the back panels, I'm gonna make a piece of panel board, cover it black, and then I'm going to put the little black buttons so it just ain't screws, so it looks a little better. Now I'm pulling down on this a little bit, giving it a little stretch, and I'm gonna keep it like that, and then I'm gonna try to massage some of this in. I'm not too concerned about some of these because, like I said, as soon as that sun bakes this thing, it's gonna look different so quick. Because you got to remember, there's stuff behind it, the two pieces of vinyl that we sewed together, and this ain't gonna get that real soft on the inside like it's doing the outside. So, but when you do like bake it in the sun, it will. It's a whole different story. So, you can see all this just as it's starting to cool. It's tightening up from when we started. Get this corner warmed up. See if I can't. That's better. All right, hang on a second, guys. I'm gonna set it on the ground. I'll be right back. Let me see if I can't get this. Get cut on? Yeah. Well, there's two front ones, guys. I think they turned out great for what they were. Like I said, you're given what you got to work with, and this is what we got. I think they're real super cool, man. It's gonna look nice in that plane. I mean, go back to the beginning and look at what they was. 1978. You know what I mean? This is really nice. I can't wait to see them like in the summer after it's been sitting in there for a while. Just let them bake in there and let them. People sitting in them, when you sit in them, they just stretch around. You know what I mean? So, all right, I'm gonna continue. I wanted to just get you guys caught up on this much. All right, guys, we're to the backs of the seats. I still gotta put the two around the back seats, but he wanted me to get the front ones done first. I want to show you something. Hang on. Okay, so here's what I made for the back of the front seats. Hopefully, let me try to get this light on. It's a little bit. That's not real helpful, but anyways. There's a pocket in it. We're getting ready. We're gonna make all this on camera. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like on the seat. But this had that, if you remember in the beginning, that real brittle thing that was falling apart. So we just made something out of door panel board, covered it, made a pocket for it so you can keep his documents in there on both sides. And yeah, let's get set back up here, and we'll make that one on camera, the next one. Okay, so here is the panel board. This is the piece that goes around it. I gave myself 1 inch all the way around. Now here's our pocket. Let's go over to the machine. I'm going to show you how we're going to do all this. Let me get all my stuff ready here. This is to feed it through after we. Now this here, it's a piece of aluminum TIG wire that I use on my TIG welder. But you could just take a coat hanger or a piece of wire, it doesn't matter. This elastic strap stuff has little slots in it. If yours didn't, you could probably wrap it around here and put a little piece of tape or something around it, just to I don't know. All right, let's go over here. Okay, first thing we want to do is create a little pocket. I'll fold it over about a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to sew on this back side here as close as I can to the edge. So I'm just going to use the edge of my foot as a guide. Now this is how I do it, guys. It's all kind of the same way if you watch some videos on YouTube, but they're all going to be a little different. Some people are putting them on backpacks, these pockets. Some people are, you know, different things. So you can kind of take the general idea of doing this and then put it into your own project. Okay, now we'll take our thing we made, feed this through. Tough part's getting it started. They have a, I can't remember what it's called. I can't think of what it was called. People use them. I can't think of what it's called. Anyways, I get this down to the edge here. I keep it folded over. It doesn't matter if you leave it straight or not, but I just let it stay doubled up like that. Now I'm going to sew a little, actually let's do it on this side. Oh, I just lost it. Man, get over here. There we go. It don't matter what side. I'm just doing it on this side because that's the way I started on the other one. Just keep my groove the same, you know what I mean? Okay. I'm going to sew, like I said, once again, close as I can to the edge here. Now, you can do this on the panel. I probably should have done that. Probably should have waited, but that's okay. Yeah, let's do that. I got it kind of close to the edge here. Let me go grab the... Okay, now what you want to do is, and you want to, when you make these pockets, you want to make it bigger. I probably should have went even more, like 1 inch or 2 over the size of the panel. And usually the bottom stays the same width, but I got it just a hair bigger because I'm going to do some folding down there. So we'll start up here. Actually, we'll start down there. It don't really matter, but just put it even where you're going to put your pocket at. I'm only going to do this side first. Same thing. I'm going to keep it right on the edge. And I'm going to keep that right with that thing the whole way up. It has a curve to it. Now we'll sew it. Give it a couple. Okay. A couple back stitches. Okay, now over here. Actually, let me grab my tape. You want to measure how high that one's up. That's roughly 10. Just so it starts the same place. You don't want to have it all crooked. Actually at 10 1/4. Alright. Now over here, first thing I want to do, pull that in. Get our pocket. Get this stretched. I like to stretch mine as much as I can. Some people won't go that much. Put it on your line. Hold your elastic. Back stitch. Okay. Now, same thing. Sew this thing down the line. And the reason why I'm keeping it all the way as close as I can to the edge, because this is getting wrapped around the back of that panel. Now, on the bottom, I'll sew in probably, let's go about 1 inch or 2. Okay, now I'm going to put a slight, just a teeny little fold over, just a teeny one, because we're going to do it again down here. Sew over it, go straight. I usually sometimes put another small one in the middle. What you could do is check it. So say we did one there, we want to make sure if we do it again over here, 2 will probably get it. Yeah, I think 2 will be plenty. And this doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Kind of about in the same area as you did your other one. Okay, there's our pocket. Now we put that on. So let's go back here now. Now we're going to glue it on our thing. All right. Oh, hang on, guys. I forgot to cut the compressor on. It may kick on, so sorry about that. There it goes. All right, first thing we're going to do here is glue that to this panel. Make sure we have enough on the edges. That's what's going to help hold it for now. Sorry about that compressor, guys. Now this one, we don't really need it all the way to the edges. So that's going to be our fold over. You can put some on it now if you want, because we're going to be gluing it here in a little bit, but we really don't need it yet. We'll go ahead and hit it now, some. That way it's easier to cover here in a minute. Now on panels like this, guys, that's not hanging from the roof, that's going to be falling down like a headliner, you can use like the 3M spray glue. You don't have to go out and buy a gun and try to figure out where to buy this Landau glue. If you go to Ace Hardware, they make one by DAP, D-A-P. It's a red glue. It's made for mica. I put it in a gun and used it before. It's strong and it's tacky, but it's quick. the setup time is not like this where you got a little bit. So once you spray it, be ready to start doing your thing. I'm not too familiar with the procedure on Formica, but I do know I've used it before, and it's very tacky, very strong, and be ready to do something with it. Let me make sure you guys are in the... Yep, we're good. Yeah, be ready to apply it. Like we've probably already been applying it. At least that's what I remember from it. Now those of you that are familiar with it, that knows more about it, maybe they can jot something down in the comments and help you guys out with how it actually works. That's just what I remember. So this doesn't have to be super perfect. Keep your 1 inch all the way around. Give yourself a little more on the bottom, because that's where the thicker stuff is. Now we can flip it over, work out our creases real quick. And this panel, I didn't show making it, but all I done was held it up to the back of the seat, and like that, and took a chalk line on the back side of it. Got a rough, made it bigger than I needed. Got a rough one piece, part, and then I cut it out. Then I put it back up to the seat, and then I started grinding it with my 2-inch grinder, and just shaping it and bringing it in more until it fit the way I wanted it. I didn't want to put all that on camera because it was dirty, loud with that grinder and the compressor. Okay, now something I added something here. I put this 1/4 inch soap foam down on the edges, just around, nothing on the bottom, just around the sides. That way when we went up against that back seat, there was piping there was some overlaps of material. When we tightened it all the way up, it kind of helped give us some kind of a, where it could smash into it some, instead of just a flat piece of board. So you don't have to do this part if, you know what, let me cut these. I do remember it would have been easier if I would have pre-cut these a little bit. There's that one. Okay, same thing. Let's get some glue on them. Usually when you start gluing it down, it'll help keep it there once you get your outline. Yeah, he's gonna, I spoke with this gentleman today. He's gonna pull his side panels out so we can make them match the seats now. And if you're gonna do this with the foam, make sure it's glued down good, because the next part glues over the top of it on the, on the back side. So we don't want none of that stuff coming up. Get your edges good. Even though this is going to be screwed together on the back of a seat, we have to make it to the seat. Meaning, if we just put a little bit of glue there, and some reason we didn't get to finish that today, and it came apart on us overnight, that's what you're going to have. Hang on 1 second. Let this set up a minute. All right. All right. Now we'll just take our scissors. That's why I don't spray my edges yet. I forgot about this foam. Couldn't get it off of there. Like this side. There we go. Okay. Trim our bottoms. I got them stuck too, didn't we? Yeah, that Landau glue ain't no joke, guys. When you use it, it's a sure thing. All right, let's glue this. Trying to go as fast as I can here, that way, like I said, don't be afraid to put the glue down. A lot of guys will just go right through this so fast with a tiny bit of glue. Don't learn those bad habits. I believe they're bad habits. They might tell you different. They'll say, I've been doing this for 80 years and I've never... Well, I'm telling you, I've had it come apart. Why take the chance over my ego? You know what I mean? I'm trying to prove somebody wrong that I haven't never done it like that. You're wasting your glue, you're wasting money. Well, I'm doing a project. I don't want to waste my time and redo it. So, this is insurance. I believe in insurance. Okay, that won't come apart on us. I promise you. I promise you. All right, let's let it set up a minute. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is get my elasticy part. Come right up. Come right up. Stay away from your corners right now. Just get the most here. Now these, I just kind of pull them one way or the other, smash it down, put my wrinkles towards the inside as much as I can, stretch it in like that, and then we'll trim those. What I mean by trim them is we're going to trim them. Okay. With these, I just get my middle on. Same thing, but I just kind of leave it. I'll show you. Like that. I just trim it. When we tighten that down, I'll make sure I'm going to hit that down with a little hammer. There's other ways of doing this too, guys, but as long as it's smashed up against something, it's not going to matter. Believe me. Okay. I need to get our mineral spirits rag, the one that dries your hands up so bad. And there's our pocket back. Okay, now, hang on, I'm going to get the seat down here real quick. Okay, this is the fun, tricky part. Okay, so the way I did the other one, I think I set my top first. It took me forever to figure this out because you've got a thin piece right there is all you got. So 1/4 of an inch of a flat piece of metal there. Because if we do it here, it'll leave a lip up top. So I have to do it in there. These are, yeah, it's 1/4, 3/16. It gets a little wider here. The bottom's the best part you got. It's about a 3/4, but it's about an inch wide. Okay. Anyways, the figuring out part. What I done was, I took my chalk, smashed that edge a little bit, so I know where my edge is, because you're only going to have one chance to measure this. You go, okay, that's more accurate there, and then put you one on the inside. So we got in between that right there to drill our hole. Actually, that would be inaccurate if we did it that way. There we go. That one's good over here. Alright, so what I've done, I know that that's my top edge. So if I come down to about just to where this is past the edge, just a tiny bit, so we have some area. Now I'm just straighten all this out. Kind of feel with your sides, with your hand, with your fingers, get it lined up, and see that we're okay. And now what we're going to do, I think we're where we need to be at. I like double and triple checking, guys. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to go with right there. Don't move it. Just make sure we're good here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my side ones first. If you don't got a set of these, you can use anything. All I'm using this for is to get me my distance. All right, let me measure and see where these first two are in the back one so they look even. Okay, we got 12 and 17 and a half. Try not to move anything. 17 and a half. Ah, come on. I hate this tape. Sorry guys, it never fails. That thing cuts on right when you don't want it to. Okay. 12. I'm just trying to get us where we're at, as far as where we're at on the other one. Okay, double check, make sure we didn't move nothing. Okay, so now what I do is this. Like I said, you can get like a piece of, all I'm doing is I'm feeling where the edge of that is, which is pretty close there. Okay, so I'm going to take this in my gauge. So I'm resting this part on this top, and that's going to touch where my actual thing is. Okay, so now I know if I go up here, that's where that's at, and now I'm going to measure how thick it is. Okay, so now I'm going to put this edge on the line we just made, mark where the back of it is. So we know right in the middle of that is where our hole's got to be. So right there, that's where we're going to drill. Same thing on this side, because you want to make sure, just in case it's not the same over there as it is over here. Okay, well, we know that's going to be the same. Okay, so we'll drill here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drill these so we're secure. Double check, triple check, I mean now, that nothing moved on us, because now we're drilling. Okay, so you want to pick, so what I got are these. They're pre-studded, okay, but I'm not going to have enough. I do have a bunch of these short ones, but they're only going to reach maybe in a couple of these spots. So I got these that don't have any screws. I'm going to have to find some of these screws here so we can use them. All right, first hole. Put your mark in it. Come over here. Put your mark in it. See, we're right in the middle of it, both of them. This is a double wall in this one. Okay, now on my panel board, I actually drill the hole so my screw won't drag it down. I'm making the hole bigger in my board, put it that way. Okay, let me blow this off. Ah, I still see it. Okay, this will get through this one pretty easy. Okay, now we'll get it in our first one. Now this bit that I used the first one, it makes it nice and perfect. There we are. It's snug. You don't want to over tighten nothing, especially when you're doing something that you can't undo. All right, so now we're secure. All right, now we can go ahead and do our next two. Same thing, guys. I'm gonna go in, mark it, see where I'm at, blah, 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 boom, boom, same thing. Drill it, put those down. I'm gonna come at the top, put those there, go all the way around it. And I'll bring you back when we're making our buttons so you can see how we made them. All right, give me a few. All right, guys, this is the first for the channel here. Make some buttons. So you take some of the vinyl that you use, and I got that little punch out die. You fold up a bunch of pieces and you put that die on top with a little piece on the bottom, and you just crank that down and it cuts out a bunch for you. And you just set that in there like that. Take one of your sleeves, metal things, whatever you call them, try to center it, push it down, take one of your clips, bevel side up, put the die on top, just a little bit of a push, nothing hard. Here's our button. I saved a few of these to do on camera. Make sure you gotta always make sure it's kind of centered good, because if not, it won't. It'll come out like on one of the edges, because that cuts just enough. That die cuts just enough for it to be not too much and be smooth around the edges and everything. Bevel up. And I know you guys ain't gonna be doing this because most of you probably don't even have a button machine, but I'm just telling you how it works. But there they are. Let's go put them on real quick. Should just snap right on. Now this one I use a different screw in it. I might have to grind that down. Nope, it went. Okay. Now we're done with that. I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy together, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue our back ones together real quick. That's the same thing as these, so I won't show any of that. But what I will do is I will show you a final of it done. We were supposed to go fly today. It just, these ain't done. Other things was going on. So I'm sure we're gonna go. It just sucks I wanted to put that in this video, but it ain't gonna work out like that. But when I do go up, maybe I'll make a short on it. You know, I'll do a short about the flight, and because he is, I don't know if I said it already, but he's bringing his side panels over so we can match them to the seats. So I don't know why I'm grabbing that or that. So I'm not sure how much of that, if I'll make a video. Yeah, I might make a video of that because they're panels. We'll see. But let me go ahead and put these together. I'll get the back ones done. I'll bring you guys back with a final thought. They are looking sweet. Got the backs on them. Now these was part of the old ones. So they're metal ones, but so I just put them back on. Whoever made those for them. And I recovered them and put them back on. And I put the buttons on them instead of just screws. They had screws, but here we go. Front one's down there. Yeah, as I said, he's wanting to pull those the side panels out and stuff so we can match it to this now. So I imagine, I don't know, I'm gonna call him here in a minute, tell him these are done so he can come get them, put them in the plane. And I think he's still wanting to go cruise it tonight. Anyhow, Jimmy's World, get at me, buddy. We even got a port real close to here, like 5-10 minutes away. We can land you. You can shoot on down in one of your little planes and bring some work to me. All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everything. Once again, thank you again. The next video is going to be on one of our subscribers. We're doing something for him. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but stick around. It's coming soon. Actually, I'm getting ready to start working on that probably tomorrow and get that thing going. I'm sure he's going to be tickled. Very patient guy, man, and super guy. I've talked to him on the phone, and really nice guy. He said he's been enjoying all the videos. Thank you, guy. Thank you so much. I don't know if you want me saying your name on here, but when I talk to you, I'll find out, and then I'll say it towards the end of that video. But thank you so much. Once again, guys, this has been a fun job here. They turned out great for what we had. The foam was bad. You know, we had to add foam. We had to do this and that. But they turned out great compared to the 70s look that they were when we got them. But thank you again, guys. I'll see you on the next one real soon. All right, guys, we got these seats back in here, but we're getting ready to pop these panels out. But check this out. Check them bad boys out. Man, they look so good in there. It changed the whole damn look of it. Yeah, it's gonna be sweet with them panels. They'll have the checker right in the centers all the way back. And that'll match, that does match that carpet good. And later on he's gonna get the avionics put in it, all that. That's gonna be so nice. Yeah, those are gonna look cool. All right, bring you back when we're doing the panels.